What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Today we're reviewing the Sturdy One. Oh, we can get some Sturdy One, and also the OneUp. So huge thank you to Tim from the Boro and Bridges group. Tim, you're a legend, bro. Thanks for getting this sent over to me before you get your hands on it for the purposes of review. We have some crackle boas by the Coil Magician, the new Coil sponsor of the channel. Bam! Some crackle boys. We have it in the Hussar lower. So we're going to jump down to the up and close, go through everything that's in the box, show you the difference between the Sturdy One top cap and the OneUp top cap, and a few other wee bits and bobs, and then we will wick it, show you how I've been wicking it, not a wicking tutorial, but show you how I wick it. Then we'll jump back on up top and share our thoughts and feelings. So we'll see you on down at the box. So this is the box that your Sturdy One will come in. Now it has some information on the back which I can't really share with you, and on the bottom you have a wee barcode, and then obviously this is the black version. So when we take off the lid, you'll be presented with your Sturdy One user manual, instruction guide, everything about the deck, etc. We don't need that because we're professionals over here. So inside the box you'll be presented with 4 pins, a bag of spurs. You won't have this peak insulator in here. I'll explain why that's in there in just a second. You will get your Sturdy One in a dot tank, which is pretty neat that they provide a tank with the RBA. You will get a Boro chimney, which allows you to use any standard Boro tank, and you will also get a bottom 510 cap that allows you to change to allow this to be used in a Boro mod, which is slightly longer because the distance between a dot tank and a Boro tank are different. As you can see, slightly bigger, so that you have to make up for that difference. So enough about the tank. It's a standard dot tank. I'm not going to go into too much about that. Pre-installed, you will have a 2.5mm airflow pin. Now, as you can see, I have 1, 2, 2.5, 3 in the box. If we can get it to focus for you, there you go. Currently I have the 3.5mm pin installed because that's what I found I enjoyed the most. So as you can see, there's your deck. Now your deck won't look like this with this black piece. I'll explain what that is in just a second. So I have a crackle boa from Coil Magicians, the new Coil sponsor of the channel, and these are 27 gauge wrapped in 38 gauge of nichrome 80, and they're 2.5mm inner diameter. So obviously you just unscrew the bottom cap to expose your 510 threads. Apologies, I have been using this for test purposes. So and then you have a serial number. I have a serial number on the bottom, which obviously indicates that it's real. And then you will have your dot AIO chimney, and then you obviously have your Boro size chimney. These are reverse threaded, so what you think is actually loosening it is tightening it up. So lefty tighty, righty loosey. Typically you don't turn it the opposite direction, you turn it, you know, as if you're screwing it in clockwise. You're actually doing it the other way. So as you can see, here's the chimney, and here is inside this top cap. You can see the top cap is very much so domed, smooth, concave on the inside, and then obviously two massive wicking ports in my opinion. This is the standard sturdy one cap. Now the flavour of this alone is absolutely incredible. I have a stainless steel one, so I've been using that as standard mode, and then obviously the black. But this guy is what everybody's talking about at the moment. So there we go. So firmly built, sturdy, branding and design. The OneUp upgrade kit. So you'll be presented with a lovely, nice designed little card here for the OneUp. Has all the sturdy logos all over it. And then inside here you will be presented with your absolutely stunning OneUp cap, and then in here there'll be a little black peak insulator, which is what you see in the deck now. I did say at the start that you won't have this peak insulator inside your goodie bag. That's because in order to install the insulator that comes with your OneUp, you have to remove the existing peak insulator by removing the positive post, by completely removing your airflow pin and giving your positive post a little wiggle. Now mine was quite tight, so I had to use a bit of tissue with some tweezers and sort of jiggle it out. The tolerances are very good and very tight, so you have to be careful that you don't bend your peak insulator. And then simply just, it only goes in one way because the positive cap has to, or positive post has to sit in a certain way for the cap to be able to go on. So when you put it in, make sure that your sturdy one OneUp insulator is fully seated, and then put your positive post back in, also ensuring that it's fully seated, and then screw in your airflow pin. Now there's been a bit of a rumour going about, not a rumour, it's been actually happening, that this insulator, people have been melting theirs. Now I've re-wicked this and built it and tried a few different pins about 10 times. That's how many times I've been trying to preheat the coil, re-wicking, trying different pins, different setups, different methods to see, just get my proper opinion on this cap and the RBA itself. But unfortunately I haven't came across any melting, any distortion of the shape, any issues at all. So I'm not sure if when people are burning their coils or heating their coils up with this insulator in place, either their coil's too low down, they haven't got it fully seated, so it's still too close, and also maybe they're heating their coils at too high of a temperature or too high of a wattage. Just a few factors that I can think of as why it's melting, but mine hasn't done so. So I'm not sure in how they've managed to do so. Now the OneUp cap is different. Obviously it's massively different because it has the OneUp and it has loads of nice fancy laser etching on it. But the cap itself is more square on the inside. so it has these pokey outy bits from the dome, but it is more square and it has a little notch on the inside as opposed to the original. So the original, the OneUp cap, they are different, and that is the difference in the two. Obviously still both the same size because it's the same RBA, just a different style of top cap. Now, personal opinion, and obviously I'll save my thoughts and feelings on this whole thing till the end, but that OneUp is definitely better than the Sturdy itself. So we will fire it on a mod. So we have it on my Lost Vapes Enquiries. We have it 50 watts. It's a 0.35 ohm coil. We're just gonna preheat the coil so that it's I'm just gonna recenter my coil with my screwdriver. Sure it's all glowing evenly, which it is, and that's it. Obviously this is a coil that's been in there already, so it's already been burnt in, so I don't have to do too much. Coil, we have 2.5mm BP cotton. It's way too much, but sure. I do like to do this a little bit longer than it needs to be because of the way I wick this. So as you can see, perfect amount of restriction. That's why I love the BP cotton. It makes it so much easier than you know, than figuring out how thick you have it to be, and it just saves so much time, especially if you're in a hurry. So I leave it long like this. Now you can definitely check out other reviews on wicking. This is just how I do it. This is not a wicking tutorial. I'm just sort of showing you how I've been wicking it, and I have had no dry hits, no issues, and it wicks like an absolute dream. So I leave the tails coming out of the cap, and then I cut it about this much. Sorry, you can't even see that. I cut it about this much, so I leave the tiniest amount, and I will show you that up close once I have cut it. So okay, so as you can see, I leave two little wicking cotton sticking out of the wicking ports. I then fan it out to ensure that it fills all of the wicking port. I don't stuff it in, definitely not. I just fan it out so that it fills the hole and allows juice to flow evenly through the cotton. I'm going to use some Yeti lemonade. So I drop a couple drops down the top of the top cap, and this simply allows it to reach directly on top of the coil. A few drops on the side of the wicks, and then I give it a nice pulse. So I always pulse it at the wattage that I glow my coils at first. So that would be 15 watts in my case. Give it a bit more just so it's well soaked. And then I go up to 20 watts. I give it another drop. Then I go up to 25 watts. Then I go up to 30 watts. And finally I go up to 35. And that's where I fire, that's where I vape it at, so that's where I leave it at. So as you can see, nice crackle. There's going to be a lot of flavour from that. So we'll just let the top cap cool down. We'll get it in a tank and we'll meet you back on up top. So there you have it, folks. That was the Sturdy One and the OneUp. Like again I said, huge thank you to Tim for sending this out, buddy. I really appreciate it. We're gonna not waste any time. I don't want to drag this on any longer. Positives: flavour outstanding. Every time I reach for this, it gives me the exact same flavour as the first time I take it to the last time I take it. Very, very consistent, very easy to build, very easy to wick in my opinion. The fact that you have the dot compatibility and the Boro compatibility is a massive pro for me. It means I can use it in multiple different devices and not worry about it fitting or not fitting. Cons, they're not cons that I've experienced, but I know they do exist, which is why I have to raise it. The positive pin, obviously, if you buy the OneUp kit. Now, if you don't buy the OneUp kit, this won't affect you. There is no cons then, in my opinion. But the if you buy the OneUp kit and you want to use it, the black Pickle insulator has been reported by a few people of melting. Now I'm not sure if that's because they have their coil too high of a wattage when they're pulsing or heating, they have the coil too low, or they haven't got their peak insulator in properly, so it's still too close to the coil. I'm not sure, but I haven't experienced any of that, so I can't comment whether or what causes that issue. And second of all, when you're removing your positive pin, you may bend or sort of disfigure your existing peak insulator. I have saw a few people say that when they pulled it out, it got sort of bent a little bit. I just put a bit of paper towel over the top of the post and used some tweezers and just give it a sort of jiggle till it worked its way out. Now it was very tight, because the tolerances are very, very minor, and they're pretty much exact where they need, where it fits and no more. So you just do have to be very careful with that. Like I said, the flavour is absolutely incredible, and I haven't had any issues with it whatsoever. So that's been my review on the Sturdy One and the OneUp. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please drop a like, comment anything else you would like me to review, and subscribe for more videos. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.